I feel so fluffy today, and I have coffee. Life is good. So hi there guys, welcome to episode 2 of my It's Too Tiny series. In today's video, I'm going to be looking at a cage that again was donated to me by Mandy from Mandy's Fur Babies Rescue. It is meant to be a travel cage, but unfortunately the animal that this cage came with had actually lived in this cage most of its life. So for that reason, I'm going to be looking at it as one of two ways. I'm going to look at it as the travel cage as well as the actual cage that an animal had to live in most of its life. Now, if you haven't seen my last It's Too Tiny cage video, I do recommend checking that out because I went into a lot more detail about the UK minimum cage size, and I actually done a kind of area surface, I don't know how else to describe it, using tape that actually showed you the difference in sizes and so on in comparison to the last cage and what the minimum requirement is. I'm not going to do that this time, and a couple of reasons for it. First of all, this cage is that small that I don't feel as if it's necessary for me to go in to do that all again. But also, and I think this is one that's really important, is I'm actually on annual leave right now from work, and I'm really not wanting to put in more effort than I have to. I mean, I love you guys, but no, I want to be lazy. So guys, I just done the measurements on the cage, and this cage is actually below 100 square inches. It's actually, I think it was 85. Let me just double check that. 89 square inches. And just to put that into perspective, the UK minimum cage size is 620 square inches, which is 80 centimetres by 50 centimetres. It is very small. And I want you to keep in mind that an animal did live in this for most of its life. And that's why we're going to be talking about this cage, because it's really important that we actually acknowledge that some people think this is appropriate. And we need to educate them in a polite manner that this is not acceptable. The last cage that we had in our video, not acceptable. The only cages that are acceptable are those above the UK minimum. This is so sad. I can't stress enough how sad this cage is. It's meant as a travel cage. So if you've got this cage as a full-time cage, do me a favour, upgrade your cage, look at getting something like an Alaska cage, bin this, trash it, and I don't just mean trash it, I mean stomp on it so no one else picks it out of the garbage and uses it. Please don't use this as a full-time cage. It is awful, it is cheap, and it is nasty. Aside from the actual cage size, this is actually very flimsy, even as a travel cage, right? And the reason for that is because the doors literally just slide open like that. Literally, a hamster could easily get out of that. I mean, there's a wee bit of a kind of bump, but even just that, a dwarf hamster could get out of that if they managed to push that open. And never mind a Syrian won't be able to fit through that, but they would be able to push that door the rest of the way. You've also got this bit here. Now, there's meant to be a wee house that sits in there, but it fell out of the cage when I was picking up from Mandy's. And it doesn't matter anyway, because the whole design is that even if you don't have that, you can just do that. It's just so cheap. It is so cheap and it's rubbish. I can't stress this enough. This is just me looking at it as a travel cage perspective. It's got a little handle, and that is the only positive thing about it, but it's not sturdy. There's nothing stopping that from rocking back and forth when you're walking. It's just so bad. If we were not to look at this as a travel cage and look at it as what somebody did, which is an appropriate full-time cage, that made me shudder just saying that, it wouldn't fit most species of hamsters. The only animal that would be able to kind of survive in this would be a Robo. Now, there's a little slide right there. A Syrian wouldn't fit that, and I very doubt that a dwarf hamster would. Badger would probably not be able to fit through that. Add to that, there's no room really between the slide and the wheel, which means that the animal's going to have to go onto the wheel, struggle to get up the slide and onto that top platform. Now, hamsters as they are, they don't have very good eyesight, so I don't personally like the idea of levels in cages. I can understand like making a kind of division between things so that it's like you've got a higher area of substrate and so on. And if that's a Robo that falls off of that, that's gonna hurt. There's no room for any other hides or chew toys. There's no room for a decent sized wheel. Robos and dwarf hamsters need at least an 8-inch wheel. So to put that into perspective, if you give me 2 seconds, I'll go get Badger's new wheel. So this is Badger's wheel. Right, this is a 9-inch wheel, so I'll take a wee inch off of that. This is the cage. This is the minimum that these animals need. The minimum, right? I'm looking at this wheel in here, and to be honest with you, I don't even think... Oh. Okay. Well, that wasn't something I had expected. That just broke off when I went to pull it. Okay, cool. It's fine, you just go ahead and break on me. So that's the wheel. Oh no. That would do your absolute nutting. So that's the wheel there. That to me, I don't even think that looks like a 4-inch wheel. I think that's like 2 inches. Yeah, that looks like a 2-inch wheel to me. So just to have a proper comparison, minimum, what that cage offers. It's rubbish, I nearly swore there, it's rubbish, right? And then if we look at it, I just said that sound, that would do your nutting, right? This is the noise that this wheel makes. Very little noise. There's a little kind of every now and then, but that's about it. I'm going to see if I can get that slide out. Oh my days. Right, okay, I've got the platform out. I just don't know how to get the slide out. Oh, no way. Oh, ugh. So that's the slide there. I don't like that. Don't like that at all. So the way it sits is it goes on like that. There. But I think the only way to properly position it means that you've got the wheel right up against where the animal's going to have to go onto the wheel in order to climb up there. And if that's spinning, that's not exactly very comfortable, is it? Hello, Badger! Hello! Would you like to say hello to everybody? There's my baby Badger. Hello, Badger Badger. Hello. Hello, Badger. Hello. Now you get to see me trying to put the dang thing back together. I don't even know what way that goes in. Oh my days, how does this work? This would do your nut right in. So you can actually turn the slide so that it's sitting further away from the wheel, like that. But then again, it's like I said though, it's a rubbish cage as it is, so it's like it doesn't make a bit of difference really. So yeah, looking at it as a travel cage, it's very flimsy, it's very cheap. The animal could very easily just lift that bit there or slide that bit there. So it's not recommended. And if you have this with an animal living in it full time, just smash it because it is not appropriate whatsoever. And if you think this is, I challenge you to prove to me that this is a suitable cage. These animals can run between, well, Robos in particular, they can run 15 miles a night, right? And that wheel's not even big enough for them. So to turn around and think this is acceptable, you can't. You just can't. You can't, honestly. I don't know how somebody thought this was acceptable. This is awful. This is an awful cage. Don't use it. Not even as a travel cage. Just bin the dang thing. Whoever it was that designed this is clearly taking the mick, right? It is cheaply made, and I've been looking up online to see how much these are. The most I've found was £20. The cheapest I found was 13. Here guys, this is post-edit, so I'm in the middle of editing that video, right? Now, I just had a look because I was going to take screenshots of the actual price with the cage and things like that. And I've just found it on Amazon for £61. 61. I'm not even joking, right? There it is there. £61, and that is legit the cage that we have just reviewed. Now it's in different colours and things like that here, so you can see right there. There's the one that we just looked at there, the brown, but you can get it in pink and you can get it in blue. But look, £61. I am not even joking. £61, right? And let me just see, I want to see if you get free frickin' delivery, because for that price, no, look, £15 delivery. I have no idea what country this is in, but £61. Are you actually taking the mick? Taking the mick, right? Just as an example of what you can actually get for your money, this here is the Alaska cage. And this is one of the cages that most people recommend as breeders or as rescues, because it meets the UK minimum and it's at a cheap price, right? It's normally, well, we'll just say 45 there, but it's currently on sale as well. Now, if you do have this cage, what you can do is do what I'm doing, and that is keep the base, right? Smash the rest of it, keep the base, and what you can do is you can actually turn this into a forage area. Now, I'm planning on putting in probably Eco Earth, or I wouldn't say Carefresh. No, I don't want to use Carefresh. I'll probably stick with something like Eco Earth, which is a coconut based bedding. You only use it in a little area. And I'm probably going to put some of the herb mix on top and things like that. Maybe hide a couple of treats in there so the hamster has to actually burrow and try and find the food. And that provides a lot of nourishment. So it has got one use, but the rest of the cage is going to be getting smashed up to pieces and bent, because it is absolutely rubbish. I can't believe somebody actually paid 20 blooming quid for it though. So guys, that's it for today's episode. I'm sorry you've waited so long for it. And I'm sorry that this kind of turned into more of a ramble than an actual kind of proper video. It's just, it's so small and so tiny, and I can't believe somebody thought that this cage was appropriate for their little animal. I just can't get away with it. I just don't understand. So, yeah. If you do want to see more content like this or any of the other videos that I've done, make sure you click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell. That way you'll see all the videos that I post, and it means that in the next video, when I'm talking about these kinds of cages, you'll see me talking about them, smashing them, bashing them, the whole works. Thank you very much. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.